at that Renee Stager in Charleston, South Carolina, getting her streaming place in, her location, but not too accurate, in immediately. And very first, someone said, hi, Tim Malone. Tim, are you in the comments? Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Topics at 10 o'clock, the Don Lemon Show. So glad that you're here. So can I just let you in? We were just talking about, as we were getting ready, got a little carried away. I'm like, hey, we got to go on. We're talking about this. Maybe we should talk about it. Where's my pen? Maybe we should talk about it as we are doing our thing. And here we are talking about it. So there was something where I said I had to grab, not grab them by the you-know-what. I had to grab something, I think the copy or something from downstairs. And I said, I got to grab the printer on the printer. Pardon me. Lemonade instead of tea. And it's fresh. So it has a little lemon, meat in it. So good. Lemon. Anyways, whatever. So we were talking about songs. So I had to grab it. And I said, grab it like you want it. Grab it. It's like, anybody remember that? And nobody remembered it because they're babies. Anybody else remember that? Nikki, who'd you say it was? I forgot the name of the group, but it was like one of the first girl rap groups. Like
it was L Trim.
L Trim. It was before Don't Go Chasing. Like it was before all those groups, but it was a girl group. I think it was before Missy Elliott or whatever. But it was
this was 1988. It says that song came out.
There you go. So I remember that. Yeah. And then Andy said, that was the year I was born. And then, so there's a total downer. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad you guys, thank you for those who said you voted for us. I'm glad that you have. So we have 2 more days for the Webbies. The membership link, it'll be at the top. We're going to put the membership link up there too. So, because we do want you to become a member. That's actually how we do stay on, out on these streaming streets. So we want that, but also vote for us for our Webbie. It's our interview with Whoopi. It's at the top of the chat. TLC. Yeah, that was Waterfalls. I'm talking about Grab It Like You Want It. And then what was it? Then I started to say, and then I said, you remember that song, You Know You Want It, You're a Good Girl. So they would play You Know You Want It. And then the DJ would mix Grab It like, anyways, where am I? That's what I'm doing. I hope you guys are doing okay. Somebody's laughing at lemon meat. I know Christy Patterson. As soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, By the way, I was on a Substack yesterday with Michael Cohen, and he actually said the Bukele thing that I was going to say yesterday where you guys were egging me on, and then some of you were saying, don't say it, and others were like, do it, and I was like, it's a devil. He actually said it, and nobody cared. Nobody cared. He said it because he's not the only one, and I'm not the only one. My gosh, the construction outside is crazy. Can you guys hear that? New York City is full of construction, whether it's outside or in your apartment or in the building. It's crazy. So, good morning. How are you guys feeling? Are you in good spirits? Did you get good rest? Have you stretched this morning? Or did you do whatever it is that you needed to do to... Will you interview Maya Wiley? She has a new book. Of course I will. Yeah, I would love to get Maya Wiley on. Lemon meat, pause. I'm reading your comments. Anyway, I did not have such a restful night, but I did get like maybe 30 minutes in this morning. It was so warm. I fell asleep on the couch. I had so much to do, like calls. I did the Substack thing with Jim Acosta last night. Jim Acosta, Michael Cohen, officer. Why can't I think of his name? The insurrection officer, Captain America. And not Michael Fanone, but the other one. Why can't I think of his name? I can't believe it. Tara Setmeyer, Olivia Troy. And yeah, and so it was really great. It was live. We met with, a group of New Yorkers who came and some folks from New Jersey and some folks from Connecticut who came. So yes, it was good. And it's called the No Fear Tour. And I'm working on something which I'm going to try to figure out. So we'll let you know. Don, you were so busy. I saw you did a live on Substack too. OMG. Yeah, I did a live on Substack. I did a take. I did a town hall, and I did 2 lives. And then I also went out to dinner to this great Mexican restaurant that we just found in my neighborhood. So I like talking about what you're doing. And then tonight I have something that's really amazing that I'm going to. My friend who's an artist has his retrospective happening at the Guggenheim tonight. And so it's very fancy, but I'm very proud of him. The painting that you saw behind me when I did it from the dining room, his name is Rashid Johnson. And look, he's an amazing artist. I could not afford it. Only reason I could or have it is because he's a friend. Otherwise, I could not afford that painting. Harry Dunn, yes, that's the officer. Thank you very much. And so I'm going to that tonight. So I'll let you know. We'll see who we see, what kind of folks. I'm sure we're going to see all of the New Yorkers, all the artists, probably some famous people, whatever. You don't care about that. Maybe, he's friends with Cory Booker. Maybe Cory Booker's going to be there. So we shall see. How are you guys doing? I really want to know, because we were talking last night about folks' mental health and how people are really sort of down in the dumps lately. And I can't blame them. Some folks can't blame them. Yeah, watch the Warriors game with tequila and burritos and friends. That May money. That sounds good. What did you guys do? Tell me what you're doing, because you need to take some time out. And I'm going to get to the news, but I really want to know how the folks are doing, how the subscribers, how my friends out there, how the Lemonheads, Elimination, how are you guys doing? And then let's shout some people out. We're going to take our time. Suzanne Boykins, good morning. Thank you for your support. You guys are amazing. By the way, the subscribers and the memberships, you guys got to get them back up. The Elimination is slacking a little bit. I'm just telling you. If it wasn't for Simi and, some of those other folks, I don't know where we'd be. Music Magic, welcome to the Elimination. Alicia Walden, welcome to the Elimination. Thank you. So glad that you are a new member. So welcome to all of our new members. Become a new member this morning if you would like to stay informed. Music and Magic 83, welcome to the Elimination. So glad that you are here. And the membership link will be at the top of the chat, but you guys know you can find it. Did we get our membership or our join button yet, Nikki? Have you seen it yet? We're supposed to get a join button.
We did not yet for the iPhone.
Yes.
Not yet.
Don't you think we need that? Can we check with those guys?
I'll check with them again.
And we got another thing that they want us to test for. Can we test for that? Did you see that thing?
I will. It's on my list this morning.
Nikki is back. Nikki was away for a little bit, but I'll let her, if she wants to tell you, I'll let her tell you. Okay, so I want to know how you guys are doing. And make sure you hit the like, make sure you hit the thumbs up. So more people, I know we're headed towards 700,000 lightning speed. So keep hitting that subscribe button. Who put that up there? Who said that we're heading? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Heading to 700K at lightning speed. I know. So by July or sometime, by the summer, I would love to be at 1 mil. That would be great. Can we make that happen? I mean that. That's a call to action. Can we make that happen? Can you guys send the link to our show, of our live, to as many people as possible? Whether you're with us on the TikTok, good morning TikTok, smash the screen. Glad that you're here. Whether you are with us on Instagram or on Facebook, make sure you follow us. Come over to the YouTube and get the experience there and become a member. We'll get us to 1 million. That would be great. All I want for Christmas is my 2 front teeth. All I want for summer is my 1 million. So Shady, welcome to the Elimination. Just because you're a member doesn't mean that you have subscribed. So make sure you've done both. The subscribe button, it's free to subscribe. It's at the bottom of the screen, right next to the Don Lemon Show logo. Okay. So we have a lot to talk about. Also, I want to know what's on your mind. You tell me. Hypnotherapy has helped with the Trump blues. Someone has hypnotherapy. Wow. Julie, really? Hypnotherapy has helped with the Trump blues. Interesting. Let us know what that's about, because I know some people have gotten that it has helped them, especially with people with PTSD. Lucy wants to know about this. Lucy, I have an update coming soon, which I think you will love. Okay. Asking about merch. Oh, yes. I'm so glad someone talked about that. Someone said, did anyone? No. Did anyone? Do anyone know if I need to get a real ID if I am getting a passport? I think you should get a real ID, because they're going to start going to that. But someone's asking about Biden. Someone wants to know about Biden. The speech, if you can find something, I know Peter is working on something else. You can find something on the speech Biden, because people were talking about that. The town hall last night was so inspiring. Thanks so much for the effort and collaboration. You are a very good journalist. Thank you, Focus Lady, and thank you for your support. Look, there were a lot of people up on the stage last night, and a lot of talk. A lot of people want to talk, and everyone wants to get their point across. But I don't know if you guys noticed, I said as I was up there, excuse me, I spent the last year of my life listening to people, going out on the streets. And so if I have a town hall, for the most part, it's just going to be about you, taking questions from you. And someone asked me last night, Don, what do we do? And I said, I don't know what we do. I think it's up to you to do. You got to get out on the streets. You got to do these things. It wasn't really my event. I was there helping them because I think we should all support each other. But I don't really know everything except what I always tell you guys. And I tell you guys is that you have to be willing to sacrifice something. Okay? You have to be willing to sacrifice something. Because of Chantal ZP's generosity, 10 people get to become members of Elimination. Thank you, Chantal. Jamie Siegel, welcome to the Elimination. Because of Tremaine Teal's generosity, 10 people get to become members of the Elimination. Thank you so much for that. Adrian Scott, also welcome to the Elimination. And again, we thank you so much for everyone. So I'm glad that you found it inspiring, and I think we need to do more things like that, more events like that. So stay tuned. And if you have some ideas, I would like to hear from you, because I want to hear from the people. Okay? I want to hear from the people. So let's talk about this, because this morning I got up and I was ready. Even though I did not sleep well, I wanted to come and talk to you guys. I wanted to hear what you had to say. I wanted to talk about this bullshit that is happening, especially as it relates to the constitutional crisis that we are already in. That I have been saying that we are already in. I'm going to back into this a little bit, because I love you, Andrew Weissman. I love you, Andrew Weissman. I love you, producers on the show. And when I would say we're already in a constitutional crisis and we're already in a dictatorship, you guys would say, I don't know, not quite yet. And I'm like, okay, I'm not buying that bullshit. We're already in it. We are in it, because they're not going to stop. They don't care, I've been saying. So finally, the great Andrew Weissman has come around. People are coming around to what I have been saying, I don't know, since February. I've been saying this. And I know you guys, you know what I say always. Old people be knowing. And I know we are in a constitutional crisis already. And it's not getting any better unless something happens. And maybe there's a judge that I'm going to talk about that is going to make this happen, that's going to facilitate this. Andrew Weissman.
Thought this day would never come, but I want to make sure people, and I thought this day would never come, but I want to make sure people understand we are here. Everyone's, at least I have tried to say, we're not yet in that constitutional crisis. That is what is going on right now. I mean, this really is the Rubicon that I was hoping we would never ever get to, but that Judge Ludig correctly said this was going to happen, and it has. This is where we are. It is now going to be up to the Supreme Court to actually show some steel and backbone to find that this is in violation of their order and take as drastic steps as they can, and ideally, again, unanimously about what is happening here, or we really won't have a country left.
You're muted, Don.
That is 100% correct. Let's put it on my lip balm. It's finally coming around to it, and I'm glad that people are finally talking about it, because it's true. People don't want to. We like to live in a delusion, like sometimes. We don't want to, because the reality is so harsh and we can't believe it. This is not what I voted for. Oh my God, I didn't want this. Oh my gosh, this cannot happen. This is America. This will never happen. No. I like to live in reality. K. Marie, 2251. Who's going to enforce anything SCOTUS does? K. Marie, 150% true. That's true. Who's going to enforce it? They don't have the resources nor to enforce it because Donald Trump, this administration, is in charge of everything. Donald Trump cannot go to jail. So it would be up to the Supreme Court to enforce, but I'm not so sure the Supreme Court is going to do it. So then what do you do? That was the question last night. And what do you do, especially if you are a migrant or an immigrant and maybe perhaps even an American? If you, I don't know, break the law, get a traffic violation, they say it's the bad guys, or if it's something, you do something or say something they just don't like, because Donald Trump is saying homegrown, we're going to send them. So why am I talking about this? Okay. I'm talking about this because who would have thought that the American project would end? And that is where, now, are we coming to that or are we already there? I'm not so sure if we are already there, coming to the actual American project ending. Who would have thought that we would be spiraling into a constitutional crisis? We're there in a constitutional crisis, all because, now go with me here, because of a Chicago Bulls hat. A Chicago Bulls hat. And I wish I was joking about that. We're going to get into it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? A Chicago Bulls hat. Now, maybe there's something behind this whole Chicago Bulls hat theory, or it could just be Chicago bullshit theory, bullshat, Chicago bullshat theory. Maybe. But first, some news. The judge presiding over the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, who was mistakenly deported by the U.S. government to a prison, let's do it. To a prison in El Salvador, suggested late yesterday that she was weighing contempt proceedings against the Trump administration. U.S. District Judge Paula Zenas ordered administration officials to turn over evidence of their effort to help bring Kilmar Abrego Garcia back to the U.S. since she first ordered them to, quote, facilitate his return, saying the government had not shown her anything of note on that front. I've gotten nothing, Zenas said in court. I've gotten no real response and no real legal justification for not answering, she continued, adding that if the administration is not going to answer her questions, then justify why. That's what we do in this house. Attorneys for Abrego, and again, that's a quote from her. She said, that's what we do in this house. Attorney for Abrego Garcia had asked that the administration be found in contempt of court over its inaction. The judge said she wants to review the evidence the administration submits, which is expected to include sworn depositions before ruling on the matter. Sworn depositions. You know what that means? The government has to go in, and maybe the president has to go in and take depositions. As the legal proceedings play out, Democrats debate what should be done next. What should their next move be? Just how much attention should they give to the plight of Abrego Garcia? Are they possibly falling into a trap? Now, do you guys think, we were talking about this morning, okay? Let me just be honest here. We're talking about this morning. Is this a trap for Democrats? Because there's not one person out there who's going to say, well, people should not be sent back. Well, if they're criminals, what should they be doing? Do you know what I'm saying? If they're criminals, they should be out of here. That's a tough thing. And I'm wondering if this issue is going to become like the trans issue, right? It's a trap that the Democrats are falling in. Are they over-indexing on this? I don't think so, because they should not be deporting people without due process, regardless if they're guilty or whatever it is. And my whole point is every day, show the evidence. Where is the evidence of all of these claims you're making, of all of these allegations you have about people? I'm sure there are some very bad people that they deported. Where is the evidence here? Are Democrats over-indexing on this one thing? Are they falling into a trap because they want to go to El Salvador? And it's not, now think about it. There's a difference between caring about something like you cared about the trans issue, but then messaging wise did not play out so great for the Democrats. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not that you don't care about it. It's not that you're being callous about a demographic or a group of people or a minority group. It's not that you, but how do you message it? It's not that you don't care about the migrants or about the people, but how do you message it? Now, I don't know if that's the case, but there are some Democrats who are saying this, hey, we're falling into a trap again. And there are others who are saying, no, 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 no. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is a break the glass moment. We need to be out, screaming from the top of our lungs. I don't know, because people are going to say, look, these people are already here. They're undocumented, and they're going to say they're here illegally. So why are you going down that road? Why are you beating that horse? They're going to say. Shouldn't you stick to the economy? Because that's really the Achilles heel. By the way, if you look at the stock market, as of a few minutes ago was down. I'm not sure. It may be up, maybe even. It's still down. It's down about 200. Now it's down 189, 190. So, so much for the spiraling stock market. So much for the what the indicator of the economic health in this country, at least as it relates to Donald Trump. So much for that, because the stock market is down today. But are they over-indexing on that? Where do you place a priority and a premium on the messaging? Because right now, Democrats and people, not just Democrats, but people who believe in democracy, and they may be Republicans or centrists, and they don't support Donald Trump. So do you go full tilt into the economy? Do you go full tilt into this immigration issue, this deportation issue, or do you split the baby, so to speak? Or do you sort of split it in half? I know, producers, I know where I am in the show. Thank you. Or what do you do? Do you do both of them, or do you do one? And again, I like to equate it to, I remember when same-sex marriage, when marriage rights, right? The right to marry, when that was going about, there wasn't a time, the marriage issue wasn't always in the news. It wasn't always the top priority, because you had to realize where public sentiment was and when to push forward, when to lean back. That's how anytime you're in a campaign or you're doing anything, whether it's a political campaign, whether it's an ad campaign, whatever it is, you have to be able to read the room. Now, hold that thought. Remind me, producers and everyone, when we talk about reading the room, okay? So remind me. So make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you hit the like, and thank you for becoming members. And thank you for helping the channel grow. The channel is growing so much that we now have sponsors, and I have to we've been reading it, and I just want to tell you about what we're doing. The Don Lemon Show is sponsored today by BetterHelp. And I've been talking to you guys about mental health forever. I've been talking to you guys, especially in the last couple of weeks, because I've been saying it feels like we are in group therapy or in need of group therapy. I actually wrote about it yesterday on the Substack. It feels like we are in group therapy or we are in desperate need of group therapy. And the town hall last night certainly confirmed that for me. It cemented that for me. That we are in a time right now with so much uncertainty, economically, emotionally, all kinds of things, that where we need therapy. And therapy, look, it is as important as your physical health. Okay, your state of mind is as important as your physical health. Traditional therapy, in-person therapy, can cost you a lot of money. It can cost you hundreds of dollars an hour, $100 to $250 an hour, if not more. BetterHelp can help you with that. BetterHelp is an online therapy. It can help you with that. BetterHelp.com. I'm going to tell you right now, go to betterhelp.com/Don Lemon. I'm going to tell you right off. But I'm still in therapy. I have a session coming up with my therapist. I had missed a session or two, and I was like, wow, I'm not feeling great. And so now my therapist is back. And so I believe that your mental health is worth it. With betterhelp.com, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions. It can save you big on cost and on time. It should be accessible, and it should not feel like like it's an investment. It should not be a luxury. It should be accessible. With BetterHelp.com, you can get up to 50% off of traditional therapy with online therapy. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. I have benefited from therapy. And I think you will too. They have more than 30,000 therapists. BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served more than 5 million people globally. It's convenient. You can join a session with a click of a button, helping you fit in therapy into your busy life. Plus, you can switch therapists at any time. So, for your well-being, your mental well-being, your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/Don Lemon to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Don Lemon. Also, the Don Lemon Show is sponsored today by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. This one is also really important to me. I do ads and sponsorships from things that I believe in. And so I wrote the book on religion. And I believe that we live in a democratic republic, not a theocracy. And people should not be pushing their religious beliefs on you, and at least not trying to codify them, not trying to make them laws. And so a lot of people have stepped back from, traditional religion, going to church, that kind of thing, because of these issues. But you cannot be so hands off. You cannot be so cynical about it, because religious nationalism is on the rise. And you have to combat that. People who are trying to push their religious beliefs and doctrines on you. And that's where the Freedom from Religion Foundation comes in. They fight to keep church and state separate, like our founding fathers actually intended. So whether you have always been secular or you have left religion behind, believe in keeping faith out of our government, FFRF has your back. So go to ffrf.us/freedom or text my first name, which is Don, by the way, to 511-511 and become a member today. Text Don to 511-511 or go to ffrf.us/freedom, because the only thing worse than someone forcing religion on you is when they do it by law. So for membership information, text Don to 511-511 today. Text fees may apply. And I did the texting. It's so easy. All you got to do is check it out. Just go check out both of those. If you're in the member of the community, go check out. Just click on it and check it out. Doesn't cost you anything. Just information. Getting information doesn't cost you anything. It's like when you go look for a car, you're like, I want to look at this car. And I want to see, how much does this cost? What's my investment? Should I lease or should I own? Doesn't cost you anything. You get the numbers, you go, I like this. Or you go, I don't like it. It's too much. I'm moving on. So go check it out. Okay? Thank you. Don't force your religion on me, says Sister Soul. Thank you very much. I agree 100%. I'm spiritual. Thank you. Okay, so let's get back to what we're talking about this morning. When I said hold the thought, I want you to hold the thought on something that I thought about. But this is what Democrats are doing. This is up from Axios, the reporting. And it says, on the dim scramble to El Salvador. Now, you let me know what you think. What do Democrats do on this? Inside Democrats scramble to travel to El Salvador. And then it's got Representative Garcia, Robert Garcia on there, and he's speaking at a conference outside of the U.S. Capitol. This is back in 2023, but this is our Representative Garcia. Democrats are rushing to organize trips to El Salvador as part of Donald Trump's, as he refuses to comply with a Supreme Court order to facilitate the return to a Maryland resident who was erroneously deported to the country. And then it talks about why it matters. It's not just about one deportee or even immigration policy lawmakers say. This is about a president of the United States defying the Supreme Court and wanting to be a king, says Representative Robert Garcia. Okay, and then it goes into all of this. Garcia and Maxwell Frost from Florida, they're trying to secure GOP authorization to lead a congressional delegation to visit deportees at El Salvador's Centro de Compromiso del Turismo, or called CDOT, as Axios first reported. Now, here's the thing. It goes through all of these things, but scroll, Andy, and I want you to hear what some Democrats are saying. And this is why I'm asking this question. Keep going. Keep going. Okay, so they said, what are we hearing? Keep going. Keep going. Keep going with a reality check. And then they give a reality check. Okay? A reality check. Keep going. And I think that was it, where it says, back up a little bit, where it says, not all Democrats. Okay, reality check. Is that it? What we're hearing? There was something that said, not all Democrats. Okay, there it is. I got it. You had it. Reality check. The sentiment, however, it says, there we go. The sentiment within the party about rallying behind deportees is not universal. So this is a similar dilemma that they face with the trans issue. Okay, are you guys with me? You're going with me? I hope my mic is on. Hit the thumbs up, please. The second House Democrat who spoke anonymously, a centrist, called the deportation issue a soup du jour, arguing Trump is setting a trap for the Democrats, and like usual, we're falling for it. Now, you may think, oh my God, why? Come on, really? And then, rather than talking about the tariff policy and the economy, the thing where his numbers are tanking, we're going to go take the bait for one hairdresser, they said, likely referring to a deported makeup artist. Now, that may seem callous, and it is, but this person is speaking truth. I guess if you're talking about what your strategy is going to be, you got to be direct. But, I mean, for one hairdresser, okay, weird. Excuse me. Only if Trump tries to deport U.S. citizens, the lawmaker argued, will Democrats need to draw a line in the sand and shut down the House. Now, what do you think? If it's only if he starts to deport U.S. citizens, because if he starts to deport U.S. citizens, then it is too late. Just like he deported these people, now he's saying, I don't know how to bring them back. I have no idea. I don't know. But by the way, it's a lie. They can bring them back because they've sent some people back. And we're going to get into that. So where are we? This is Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This is the man that we have been talking about. That is him. We showed him the other day with his kid. There's him with his kid. I guess this is his third birthday, right? Now, again, we don't know. So far, they're saying, no. His attorneys are saying he's not a gang member. He's none of these things. But the government is saying yes. Draw the line now, you say. What do you think? Should we draw the line now? Or should we wait to see if he starts deporting U.S. citizens? Do you think that lawmakers should have said, are we really going to draw a line in the sand for one hairdresser? You let me know what you think. AOC, you know, is out. And she has been doing these fight oligarchy tours, town halls, tours. She has been doing it, rallies with Bernie Sanders. This is what she's saying about Abrego Garcia. Here it is.
They admit that they've thrown Mahmoud in a cell thousands of miles away from his family because he attended a protest and they did not like the content of his speech. But I want to be very clear, Folsom. Donald Trump's detention of Mahmoud Khalil for his speech is anti-American, and we demand his release, along with the release of Rumeisa Ozturk, who he is also jailing for writing an op-ed in her school paper. And we also demand the return of Kilmar Abrego Garcia in El Salvador. And we tell President Bukele, if we believe in democracy, he must be returned. It is criminal that he is being held abroad. And we demand these things because we do have power in this moment. All of us do. Everyday people do. And it will never, ever just be institutions or politicians and officials alone that uphold our democracy. It will always be the people, the masses, who refuse to comply with authoritarian regimes, who are the last and strongest defense of our country and our freedoms. You, Folsom, you.
What do you guys think? Is she right? Look, here's the thing. You may feel a certain kind of way about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? And that's the whole thing. Should Democrats now lean into the more progressive wing of their party? Tell me how you feel about her, because I have not always been. Look, personally have always liked her. I think she's a nice lady. I've not always agreed with her policies, and I hate it when people say that because you don't agree with everybody's policies. But she's pivoting. She's growing. She's evolving, which is what people do, which is what smart people do. So say what you will. She's out there. She's drawing crowds. Bernie's out there. He's drawing crowds. We'll see what happens. And maybe if they had listened to some of these folks, I'm going to put myself in that category, had listened to the Bernie people, not all of the Bernie bros. You guys get carried away sometimes. I mean, not sometimes, a lot. Like, okay, calm down. Sometimes you can be like almost as bad as the MAGA like bros. But perhaps maybe we wouldn't be in this position. I'll give you that. Okay. So I have come around on AOC. I should say I'm coming around on AOC. And that's okay to admit. Don't you think we should be able to admit things like that? Don't you think we should be able to evolve? Don't you think that intelligent people, when they get more information, they change their minds? Right? So I think that she is hitting a stride. And we all do. We all, we don't do things that we did when we were kids or when we didn't know. When you know, you know. When you know better, you do better. That's how I feel about it. So Cory Booker, who is now up there as people right now at the moment, right, on the polls, snapshots in time, they're saying that Cory Booker could be the nominee or should be the nominee. That's what's happening in the polling. But Cory Booker is trying to arrange a trip to El Salvador. Here he is. Listen.
Do you think the Trump administration is defying a court order?
It certainly appears that they are, and they're trying to play too cute with parsing words. The court has ordered the return of this person and that the Trump administration should do it. They're paying an authoritarian leader in El Salvador to hold people in the worst imaginable types of prisons that he has sent there without any due process. And this isn't just about Mr. Garcia. This is about every American understanding that this president is making an assault on the due process rights that are afforded to people in our country. Everybody from Anton Scalia to other conservative think tanks have said very clearly, you cannot disappear people off American streets. We are a nation of rules, and due process is clearly one of them. And to erode the due process rights of anyone is a threat to the due process rights of everyone. This is a democratic slippage, and we all should be speaking out against it.
Amen. You have to be willing to sacrifice something. I think Cory Booker is speaking facts. Speaking of hitting your stride, right? Cory Booker is hitting his stride. I think Democrats, look, this has been a tough election. It's been a tough time. But I think what it has done is that it is giving Democrats whatever it is, whatever the sauce is, whatever the medicine is, whatever the recovery is, it's giving them a spine. It's helping them to grow a spine. Someone took something and said, drink this. Oh, I don't like that. It tastes like oligarchy. Let me see. Nope. That tastes like authoritarianism. It tastes like a dictatorship. It tastes like women losing their rights. It tastes like no due process. It tastes like I better get the fuck out there and do something and grow a backbone and stop giving PowerPoint presentations on cable television and actually go listen to my constituents. That's what it tastes like. And Cory Booker said, boom, I'm going to do it. AOC said, that's what I'm going to do. Bernie said the same thing. There are still others sitting around like this. Well, the 4th congressional district in the state of such and such, we are trying to, and if we can just get 2 Republicans to come around, then they will be, that shit is not going to happen. So for all of you people out there who are like, okay, hang on. For all of you Democrats that are out there doing that, stop it. Go play some videotape of Cory Booker and Al Green and AOC and Jasmine Crockett and learn some shit. Take off the tie. Unbutton your top button. Put on a polo, maybe a half zip, maybe a whole zip. And go do something. Go talk to some people. Go have some. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's the only way you grow. Don't be so worried. I'm going to be primary. I got to make a mistake. I can't do that. Oh my God, it's going to be you. Here's the point. Here's the point. You're worried about getting canceled when you are the people who cancel people. The public doesn't cancel people. You guys do it. So just make a pact with your people. The Democrats just go to the Congress. Do you guys feel me? They just had an epiphany. It's not the people, pretty much. It's the lawmakers. Just say we're not going to cancel each other. Just say we're going to support each other. Just say we're going to let our fellow Democrats be human. We're going to let our fellow representatives be human. We're going to let the activist journalists that are out there, we're going to let them be human. We're going to let people make mistakes. We're going to say, I know that's a good person. That Al Franken did. He's a comedian. You got better things to do than that. Is that what you want? Al Franken, who's been fighting for the people forever? Get over it. Move on. Well, let's talk about something that's really important. And stop like, well, you know, I'm a feminist. And because of feminism, I can't stand for this. Where's my pink hat? Get the fuck out of here. Start standing up for people and saying, look, I know that he's not that. So he did something, you don't like it. Okay, it was off color. Okay, fine. Move on. He said, I'm sorry. Now let's get back to work. So, like Zelensky, great. Zelensky was a comedian, someone said. So start canceling the Republicans and stop canceling your own people. And then, so if you break the bonds of your own chains, you break your chains, exactly, Renee Hutchins. If you break that and you say, we're going to stand by our people, even if your people, maybe your people are Republicans who are anti-Trump, who are pro-democracy, stand by those folks. Maybe you're a Democratic person maybe they made a mistake and did something that you're like, move on. And stop going, oh my gosh, I can't do it. And you do it too. I notice because people in this space, they'll say, such and such and such won't come on my show. And I say, why? Is it because they think I don't have a big enough audience? I'm like, well, that's stupid. Because everybody has an audience. Or they don't think that I'm big enough, or they think I'm too controversial. And I go, that's stupid. And then I say to the Democrats, if you are listening, who's any more controversial than Joe Rogan? Who's any more controversial than Theo Vaughn? And quite frankly, who's even more controversial than the call her daddy lady who talks about dildos and boyfriends' penis sizes? And somehow that's okay? But because someone like maybe a Tiffany Cross who's been fighting for you and maybe she got let go at MSNBC and somehow she's the person, I'm not saying this, just an example. It's like the Scarlet Letter. Where are your priorities? That person is on your side and has been fighting for you. Same thing with Joy Reid. Like, come on. But I'm not saying anything against the call her daddy lady. I like her. More power to her. I'm just giving you an example. Do you guys understand what I'm saying here? I just had this epiphany in the moment. And that's what Democrats are still doing. Who is any more controversial than Fox News? But you'll carry your ass over to Fox News. When they say all kinds of horrific shit, when they will call Kamala Harris the original Haktua lady and you go jump up on their set. Come on, I tell the truth. Or you go jump and you talk to people who hire Republicans to insult Democrats. But they won't hire Democrats to insult Republicans, but you're always jumping on their air. Where is the lie? Where's the lie? Where's the lie? Unite and fight, says Chunky's Spot. You're right. Shut the fuck up and stop being so holier than thou and so churchy. Can't stand that shit. Anyways, let me move on. You know why I can't stand it? I can't stand it because the other side is so disgusting and they're so heartless. They're so heartless. This is Jessica Tarloff over on Fox News. And she's talking about why you cannot send Americans to foreign prisons. And I want you to hear what her co-hosts are saying. I'm going to play a couple of Fox News clips from you, and it just so happens to go along with what I have been saying. Not the first one on the list, Andy. Play the second one first. Here it is.
That it's funny getting that hot mic moment where Donald Trump and the El Salvadorian president are talking. They're kind of loitering around at the front of the Oval Office where they're joking about oh, wouldn't it be great if you could take our homegrown ones? You cannot legally send Americans to an El Salvadorian prison camp, no matter what they have done. Senator Kennedy was on our air earlier this afternoon with Sandra and John and said as much.
Okay.
You look at, one more thing to say. Actually, multiple more things to say, but what is most important is that under the Alien Enemies Act, you deserve due process. And that's what the Supreme Court ruled. And if you go back to World War II, when we were invoking this same act, that people who were here undocumented from Japan, from Germany, from Italy, were allowed to go into a court where they could argue that they weren't a danger to this nation. Abrego Garcia was not afforded that right to come into court and to argue as to why he should not be deported. And it is not the same thing to deport someone to their home country as to send them to a prison.
Well, then
you know that.
First of all, the 9.
Okay, so she makes a good point with there. Now, play the first one where she says, where this Bukele, who is the president of El Salvador, is saying he can't bring people back, and Donald Trump is saying he can't bring people back. It's a lie. Listen.
This, but the point is that this man has been living in this country out in public, meeting on an annual basis with his DHS caseworker. He goes in once a year. He talks to them. They know where he works. He's an on-the-books worker. This is not somebody who is a gangbanger. This is not somebody who has committed any other crime besides being here in this country. And he came here also based on credible threat of being murdered by a gang at home who was threatening his entire family. The reason that Democrats are talking about the fact that anyone could, quote unquote, be disappeared is that you can see a full-blown constitutional crisis playing out in front of our eyes. The Supreme Court ruled 9-0 that he had to be returned. President Bukele is lying when he says that he can't get him back. We know that he can return people because he returned people from the original shipment.
There you go.
There were women that were sent there, and he said, oh, no, you shouldn't be here. And there were some Venezuelans that he didn't want. He said, okay, you shouldn't be here, and he shipped them on back.
So lying. She's fighting the good fight. So I've set that up because as she is fighting the good fight, and commensurate to what I said before about supporting your own, right? Cohesion, unity. This is how the folks over at Fox feel about this, and they will say it out loud and nothing will happen to them, and you will go, oh, I got to go on. They got a big audience. Okay? This is how they feel about this. This tells you about their humanity and who they are. Here it is.
Sorry, do you want Greg Gutfeld or Jesse Waters?
I want Greg Gutfeld. Let's go for it.
This is what I mean when you can feel the narrative, you can feel it. You go like, oh, now I understand this. This whole thing, this guy is nothing more than a tool that is being used to subvert the needs and concerns of the American public. This is why they're latching onto it. You mentioned how the deportation, in a way, has the same issues as the invasion. It's a mirror. Biden opened the border, millions came in, and surely murderers and rapists were part of that. Now we're deporting hundreds of thousands, and surely one or two might not be criminal. However,
okay, now I want you to listen to this. Remember the least of these. Okay, now listen to what he is saying. Here it is.
Compare the error. In one of these errors, Americans don't die. At worst, a guy gets sent to a country he doesn't want to go to. You know what? I can live with that.
Into a prison camp, not just out into the wild.
Look, I'm sorry, Jessica. I understand your concern, but I refuse to care about one person who's an illegal alien when the mental shelf space that I have is now reserved for victims of crime, which I've been talking about for years. This manufactured narrative, family man, father of 3, coming from the media, who with the same intensity talked about having children was bad for the climate, are now telling us that when you have children, you are now a pillar of the community. If that guy was a white American citizen, they would just call him a MAGA extremist. But he's an illegal alien and he has kids, and now he's the spirit of the community. He's a good guy.
Yeah, but in addition to
oh my God. You guys, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? I don't even know if I have to say anything after that. Did you hear that? Like Luther would say, anyone have a heart? Would love no heart. That is no heart. No, Luther. Anyone have a heart? No one has a heart there. That's not a heart. Do you understand what I'm saying? Again, I don't have to say anything. And it's not just him. He is speaking. These guys are on talking points. He is speaking how the MAGA folks and how many people on the Republican side, on the MAGA side, feel about this. And guess what? Probably a big part of the American sentiment. That's why I'm saying, Democrats, I don't know what you should do. But is this the hill to die on? I don't know. I legitimately don't know. Now, I know as a human being, I say stop it now. As a human being, I care if one person is sent to the gulag by mistake. I care. That's why we have democracy here. That's why we're innocent until proven guilty. That's why you get a jury of your peers. And so how do we know? We don't even know if it's right or wrong because the guy's gone. He's deported. You said you can't bring him back. We don't know. Same thing with this next thing that Jesse Waters is alleging or positing, which is just bizarre. Okay, ready for this one? Go.
Hoodie. Garcia's a Bulls fan, but he's from El Salvador, and he lives in Maryland, not Chicago. The Bulls lost 60 games in 2019, so why the hat? Can Garcia name anyone on the team? Anyone on any Bulls team besides Jordan? Everyone from El Salvador knows what it means when you wear a Bulls hat. It means you're MS-13. When you're in Compton, you don't accidentally wear red and say, oh, I didn't know red was Bloods. If you're a Latin American illegal alien in Maryland, you don't accidentally wear Chicago Bulls gear and hang around with high-ranking gangsters from MS-13.
Oh, my God.
This is the reason he had to break into the country. Are you ready? A local gang in El Salvador was shaking down his grandma's tortilla shop. And his lawyers say if he gets sent back to El Salvador, he's a dead man. It's a tortilla blood vendetta. Seriously.
Zechariah, Patha. Exactly. What the hell is that? Disappeared for a freaking hat. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to say it again. Where is the evidence? Where's the evidence? That's all I will say. If you can show some evidence that this is freaking true, then do it. But we don't know because he's gone. He never had his chance in court. He never had due process. He never got to stand in front of a judge with an attorney, with a representative and say, Ms. Judge, there's a woman judge in this case who's trying to do it. Ms. Judge, none of this is true. I am not this. My representatives are going to show you this, Ms. Judge. Here's my representative. None of that has happened because you deported him, and now you're saying you can't bring him back. Not only did you deport him, you sent him back to the country that the government had already said he should not be sent back to for fear of his life. And so my point again, I hate to keep hitting Democrats, is that why are your standards for each other so much higher than they are for these other people? So let your people live. And you should be trying to cancel those people instead of giving them oxygen. Now, there are some people, broken clock is right twice a day. There are people in the Republican Party, and those are the folks you should be leaning on for this one issue. Now, they're not going to come all the way over because the MAGA folks aren't. Like Trey Gowdy, who is saying, look, we still have a country. We still have a constitution. We should still abide by that constitution. He is a Republican. Here's Trey Gowdy.
Trey, it's always great to have you with us. Thanks for joining us today. So what do you think the White House should do in this situation?
I mean, I think what they ought to do is probably follow the judge's order and the Supreme Court decision, which used the word facilitate. Also in that opinion, Martha, were the words accidental, mistake, and illegal. I mean, those are not three good words you want in a Supreme Court decision. So, look, I don't want the guy in the United States, although I will say this. If the press secretary's facts are right, it should be a pretty easy conviction. And do I have more confidence in U.S. prisons or El Salvadorian prisons? U.S. prisons. I don't know if you remember Pablo Escobar or not in Colombia, but that was more like the sanctuary at Kiowa or the Ritz-Carlton. That's not a real prison. So I have more confidence in U.S. prosecutors. I have more confidence in the U.S. prison system. If the president doesn't agree with that, and he may not, then bring him back and then remove him to another country. Appeal the removal order. But what we can't have
Pause,
is
please.
any executive.
Back up a little bit. Back up a little bit. Look at her face when he's saying this, because he's making sense. Keep back up a little bit more. Okay. Okay, go. Look at her face, though. Watch.
Prison system. If the president doesn't agree with that, and he may not, then bring him back and then remove him to another country. Appeal the removal order. But what we can't have is any executive disobeying or not following a judge's decision, even if you disagree with it.
Yeah.
Appeal it, or else you're going to get fined. I bet this judge is going to start fining the department on a daily basis if he's not brought back here.
Well, let me.
Well, but my audience is not going to like this. Management is not going to like this. There is a Republican who's informing people of the real deal. Well, let me. That's what's happening here. That is what's happening here. So I leave it to you, folks, to decide. What should Democrats do? What should you do? We are in a constitutional crisis right now. We are in a constitutional crisis right now. We are in a dictatorship right now, especially if it continues on and they continue to defy the judges. That is where we are right now. That is where we are right now. There are so many things that I wanted to talk to you about, but this is for a longer conversation where I want to sit with my people and I want to talk. Okay. I want to sit with you guys and I want to talk about something else, but I'm going to save that and I'm going to end it here. And I'm going to tell you that we need your support in order to continue to be out in here in these streaming streets. I'm just being honest with you. So we're not part of a big conglomerate, a corporation. So make sure you like and subscribe, hit the like button, subscribe, and become a member. And so I want to welcome all the new members. I want to thank everyone for their support, for all the people who gifted memberships, and for all of the loyal people. I'm going to talk to you. I want you to, today, I think I'm going to, should I, real quickly before we get out of here, Tammy Brown, by the way, welcome. Thank you for becoming a member. I was going to write something on the rocket launch, and I feel bad because I'm friends. Well, I know some of the people are involved, but it's just not sitting right with me. I was going to write it for my Substack. Should I do it? Or should I just leave it alone? It's just been weighing. It's been heavy on my heart, as they say. It's been heavy on my heart. We do have a big problem. We've got big problems in this country. We've got big problems in this country. Now, you're right, Sir Child. We need to saddle up. What do you guys think? Should I do it? Okay, so speak your truth. Thank you. I will. So Ursula said, leave it alone. Why? Leave it. Leave it. Leave it. Okay, some folks are saying leave it. No, we taxpayers paid for that stunt, did we? Stay with us, Don. This is terrifying. I know. I will stay with you. I'm here. I got to go. I'm actually going to tape an interview right now that we need to talk, that we need to do. So write about it. Okay, I will. Let me know. Continue in the comments in the chat. So look, guys, I love you. I hate to cut it a little bit short. I mean, we've actually gone an hour. But yesterday I went like 2 hours or two. I forget. Was it 2.5 hours that I hadn't realized? I told the producers, oh my gosh, why didn't you tell me we were going so long? And they're like, we're not going to cut you off. We're not in the business of doing that. Because you guys know I want to be live all day. I could sit here. Maybe that should become my strategy. Instead of doing the tape stuff, maybe I should just sit here all day and just be the Don Lemon News Network. Because I could sit here literally all day and just talk to you. Even without anything. I don't need elements. I can just sit here. It's not in a purple chair. I can sit here in my brown leather chair. The couch is kind of purple. It's blue. And just talk to you all day. And there's enough news where I could just go from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Isn't that crazy? It would be the Don filibuster. Maybe I call it the Donabuster. DNN. You're right about that. So look, guys, thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. Smash the hearts. Check out our social. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Tim won't like that. Tim's at work. He might like it, except the dogs. I'd have to hire a dog walker because we actually like to walk our own dogs because we get to spend time with them. There are enough nannies in the world for children and for pets. So we like to walk them ourselves. Okay. So guys, I'll see you back here at 5 o'clock. I got to run. I'm already late. Okay. So like, thumbs up, become a member, keep supporting us. I love you. And as I always say, turn this TV off.
Thanks everyone for watching. Your support means the world to us. So make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe to our channel to make sure that you never ever miss a video. We're live every day, 10 a.m. Eastern time. We drop even more content at 2 p.m. Eastern and 5 p.m. Eastern. And if you want more Don Lemon Show content, we'd love for you to become a member of the Lemon community, where you will receive access to special community posts. You'll get exclusive content and members-only live shows. So head over to our channel page or click the join button on this video. Again, thank you for watching. We appreciate your love and your support, and we will see you next time.